then I brought a piece of paper if you have questions or if you want to write anything down, and then for me as well, just if there's something that I can't answer right off the top of my head, then I can get back with you on that.
For sure.
So this is the main office. Everybody checks in here. We're going to come back here last, and I'm going to take you through there. Here's also a map of the park and our card there.
Perfect.
So I counted the other day. We're at 134 pedestals, okay? So that'd probably be the easiest way to say that. So 2 of these trailers here up front are full-timers. One this in the middle. There she stayed a month, paid for a month. She went back to Texas and is staying another month, you know. So she was like a 3-month thing. She had a little trailer. We put her right up here up at the front. This stucco building back here is a storage. I'll show you it. The mobile home that's here, although it's stuccoed like everything else, they own that mobile home that's there, okay? So I just they pay me the lot rent underneath it. 12 acres.
The whole property is 12 acres?
Yes, sir. So I think what we'll do is let's just roll through it, and then I'm going to come take you back through these buildings. This is what we call our pavilion. It's got a little exercise area in it. It's got a kitchen that we just remodeled and did some painting and cleaning up of it. This here, the bottom part is laundry facilities, and then shower, men's and women's shower and restroom facilities. This back area here is where they're playing poker right now. We call it the lounge. The whole top is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. So what we do with that is, I could rent that thing out all the time, but it's real nice, and so we keep it for our friends and family whenever they want to do it. You know how the public is. They'll tear up anything that they can tear up.
For sure.
So this right here, what we call the island, these are 30 amp spots right here. I have, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna buckle it behind me. So everything's completely fenced except for the front portion. These are our larger 2. They're 50 amp, 30 amp on these. These are back end 30s. We thought about, okay, so we bought this place. We've had it, this is our 2nd season. We want to put cabins on this back row right here. We think it'll do well. They just don't make trailers this short anymore. You know what I mean? And so I thought it'd be better utilized to take out the utilities on every other one and put cabins facing out this way. And so that's kind of what our thought would have been on that. So we closed on this place February 21st. March 15th, governor locked us down, right? You know, so we got through all of that. And then so from what we did last year, we're doubling everything that we did last year, and we did good through COVID as well. But I saved these for everything that's really 40 foot and plus, you know, so the bigger. These used to be 2 sites like they are on the other side. They turn them into 1 site so everybody have a little more elbow room, you know. Then when we get to, and then there's a couple of shorter ones here, like these end caps. They're 30 amp. I give them 2 spaces so they can park. This actually, you could put a small RV on, you know, a small rig on this one right here. The problem is, by the time you get the small rig on here with their vehicle, whatever they're pulling with, you know, it gets a little tight. But these 2 rows here are set up in the buddy system, you know, so 1 space in one space in the other way. And so that's why you'll see, like this one here, somebody could pull in this way right here. Somebody pulls in this way. You got utilities on both sides. People, their awnings can meet in the middle, and works really good if you're traveling together, like this group that I have right now. It's a group of 25 that's out of Dallas-Fort Worth area, so they, you know, they love it. They want to be buddied up right next to each other.
That last row over there you showed me, that would be a good row for tiny homes, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right.
How long have you guys had this property, man?
Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, February 21st of last year.
Oh wow, just over a year.
Yeah, so we're in our 2nd season.
Got it.
And you'd probably be like, why are you? So kind of the goal. So I have 18 years real estate history in Texas. Okay, that's what I did before this. Actually, before this, I built up a heavy commercial construction company, and we did very well with that. But you know, when you start to look at investments, you start to look at storage units, and storage units, you see the same thing with RV parks. I grew up RVing. My parents, you know, took me everywhere. We grew up coming to Ruidoso because I'm from Odessa Midland area originally. So, you know, it's 4.5 hours for us to get out of the heat. And so we're sitting at a restaurant. I heard that this place is for sale. We came and talked to them, made a deal, and moved here. But now we're like 9 hours away from all our family, right? You know, and I'm 42, my wife's 48, so we still have kids that are just graduated last year of high school.
For sure.
And so, you know, what I want to do is go build another RV park, but I just need to do it in Central Texas where I'm closer to all the family, you know. So this is our main residence here, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's very comfortable for us. Make a great place for, you know, to have somebody living on site. Then we've got this barn here that basically is just, you know, everything that we need as far as plumbing and electrical parts, and that's kind of where I work out of.
Got it.
On that.
Got it.
So, are you familiar with Ruidoso much?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm more familiar with Alamogordo and Carrizozo.
Okay.
That area.
So, weekend-wise, we'll get 40 to 60,000 tourists here. The season here is May to September due to the racetrack. Okay, that's what brings in a ton of people. So this is what I consider my full-time side over here. Okay, so they're staying 4 months or longer.
May to September is the rush season.
Is the racing season, May to September. Okay, and then so when I have horse people, I have owners and jockeys and trainers that come and they book the last year, like they booked last year for their site to be here this year, okay? And they pay good money, okay? So I'm getting on them to park on their spot, I'm getting about $750 a month for these people, okay? And they pay their own electric. And now the people that are here now, out of this right here, you can see the people with the decks and stuff, they're here year round. Now out of that, I have probably about 22-ish trailers that stay here all the way through the winter. Out of those, I have 9 or 10 people that live here full-time year round, okay? Out of those residents. The rest of these are Texans, and they just come back and forth for whatever they're coming back and forth on vacation for. But like all these trailers right here, this is horse track people. So this will open up in the middle of September. These spots will come open. Now, I'll tell you that the previous owners, they didn't do a very good job of looking for full-time residents for that winter money. When we got here, I would say that this section over here was making $6,500 to $7,500 a month during the winter season. I think I've got that up to about $11,000 a month now, bringing more people in. And I'm learning, you have mobile home parks, so you understand. I mean, if you're not real on a park like this that's so nice over on that side, you gotta try to keep up on this side, because it will ruin, you know, it will ruin it, you know. So again, like these guys, horse guys, he'll pull out of here. He's just here dropping off stuff there from the racetrack. But these are, like I said, owners, jockeys, and trainers. Now, if these people, they still own their lots. Now, what I did, anybody that was still in here that stayed with us, the lowest person, well, I have one veteran that stays up in the very front up there, and he pays $300 a month plus his electric, okay? The people that are here, they were all at $300 a month. We bumped them $50 and told them we were not gonna go up on them, because we looked at them like family, you know, like, you guys stuck with us, so we're gonna stick with you. I'm gonna make my money on the new people. So I've raised the price from this park from $300 to now anybody new coming in is paying $550 a month. If they're staying full-time year-round, $550 a month plus their electric. And then if they're staying for 6 months, it's about $650 a month. And if they're staying for the racetrack season, it's $750 a month.
Plus they pay their own electric.
Plus they pay their electric. I'm on a water well too. 2 water wells, but city water will be here in November.
Cool.
So yeah, so this park will be city sewer and city water in November.
Awesome.
Yes. So we have been waiting and waiting, but I have a well that's right at my house, and I have a well up here that I'll show you.
Cool.
And so yeah, that'll be a big blessing. What I figured out, we use about 1 million gallons of water a year. So you're gonna look at about a $650 to $750 a month water bill. And for the peace of mind in that, I mean, what my plan is, if we don't go, we're gonna tap into it. If I ever had a problem with the well, I can turn on city water, but I'm gonna use the well water, you know, for now, unless the water here is hard. And if the city water seems to be softer and better, then I'll go to city water. But this also allows me not to have any people washing their vehicles and doing all that, because they know we're on a well, so everybody conserves. I don't let them water the grass, and because, you know, people will leave it running all night. This structure here, everything that's metal stays with the park. That you own that, okay? This is a cabin here, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and this is ours. Okay, so that rents for $650 a month. It's a local guy. He's here year round. He has this roofing company here. Okay, so that's him and his wife. This deck is ours. The 5th wheel is not ours. This mobile home is ours. I rent it to a police officer here in town, and it right here.
That one. Got it.
The 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and like I said, it's really good to have a police presence. I mean, I just like it because he's here. You know what I mean? And why
Yeah,
not?
for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like he's home too.
Yes, he works nights. And then this is a cabin that we have, another 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and that we own that. That rents for $500. The lady's been here for 5 years, so we have not gone up on her. The mobile home we get $1,000 a month for, and plus they pay their electric.
Wow.
So tiny house wise, if you decided to go tiny house, like on this side, this park would, in the big picture, if you could line this up with tiny houses, I would say you're in the $950 to $1,100 a month with people just in Ruidoso, because they need housing that's in that price range. Okay, so if I was going to put tiny houses on the full-time side over here, I would get probably just south of $1,200 a month for new people coming in, and there's a demand for it. When that mobile home came up, I leased it in 30 minutes. I mean, just put it, you know, I mean, people need it. So I have 1, 2, 3 tiny houses here, okay, that people have brought in. This is a brand new one.
So they've bought in their own tiny home.
They brought in their own tiny home, and they just pay us the dirt. So this is new lady that right here. She just moved in here. She bought it from the previous owner, okay, and I think she paid 60 grand for the tiny house. She pays me $550 a month plus utilities, okay, and so you can see she's neat as a pin. I mean, it's, you know, it's good. Same thing here, $550 a month plus the utilities.
So I could put tiny homes in this grassy area?
Absolutely, all the way down here. You could get rid of all these trailers. You could put mobile home or tiny house in here, and you're gonna change the whole feel of the park in a good way, you know.
Sure.
I mean, in a good way. I'm gonna tell you what, this is my first lick in real estate, right? So and then plus COVID, so I have great ideas of what I would want to do, but I didn't have the capital to do it, you know, as far as just jump in here and then just start putting them in there. And you know, too, I mean, you're a young guy, I'm a young guy. I'm just starting this whole credit process with the bank to be able to, you know, to be able to walk in and they know what I'm capable of, you know. And so again, yeah, these people are, this is another full-timer, $550 a month. Just a little couple, 70 years old, they'll be here forever, you know, they just love it. Two storage places here. This is like lawn equipment wise stuff, and then a real nice storage in here. You want to look at this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys moved here to live here full time?
We did. I really moved here. So the park had been closed. That side of the park over there had been closed since October of 2018, and the owner was getting Alzheimer's and ended up not even be able to make it to closing. The guy, they had it 33 years before us.
Wow.
My goal was to come in here and bring this park back to what it could be. You know, that was it. I knew that there was income, cash flow potential right here. Let's go in here and clean it up and do it, and then make the first lick so we can get back closer to family and do something and learn. You know, I mean, learning just like the first time you probably bought your property, you figured out the next couple of times, you know, you kind of know what to go for.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So yeah, basically we just moved our stuff in here, but this is a great area, you know, great space for just like what it is.
Is that John Deere coming with the sale?
So I just bought it last year when I got it, so I owe about 22 grand on it. Something like, you can buy them new for 25. You know, that's what we did. So we just have to figure out if you need it, you know, then we'll figure that out. Again, I think that, I mean, my next step would be get a piece of property and try to build another park that's about 75 spots, something that me and my wife can handle a little bit better. So it's not in there, but everything is, we can talk about anything.
Awesome. So this is like a general storage area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Awesome.
And then
This is a great looking park in a great location.
it really is. I mean, we're 3 miles from the racetrack. I don't know if you saw it when we were coming in, which really, that's makes a big difference when people are coming in. Let me show you this around.
Yeah.
Maybe a little muddy. We got some rain earlier.
No problem, man.
So, both of these rooms are real similar here. So you can get the kind of general idea. So like this cub, this will go with the sale. Let me see what my switch is. Really, the only thing that you see, it will just be our personal stuff in that tractor, just because I owe so much on it. But anything else, equipment-wise, you know, it would stay. But then there's another building that's just like this right next to it, you know. So it's a good little work area as well in here too. Something that if you just want to give a key to a maintenance that can come in here but doesn't get in everything else, you know what I mean?
Yep. Very nice. Do you have a kids? How many? Is this very kid friendly?
So our goal was again to put in, like in that park area that we drove by, to put in a playground, because the demographic on the park is going down. Typically the demographic here was really 70s and 80s. I mean, there was the retired folk that came to this park for years. I want to get the demographic down, you know. I mean, and we're seeing, because so many new people are buying campers, you know what I mean. So I would say this summer that I don't shy away from it at all, you know. And well, that's what I was going to say. Found out that a playground is, you know, $50,000-$60,000 for a playground that's good enough to keep kids' attention like it does at school, you know what I mean? And so had COVID not happened, then we would have had a playground in that middle area. I wanted to do that, and like outdoor movie nights, and you know, and do stuff like that. And so what we've done now is we've done things like, I have a singer-songwriter that stays this summer with us that's really good in the area, and so I trade him out. He does about 2 shows a month for me, and I let him have a lot of space. But so we do free mimosas, and it's a brunch thing that we do on Saturdays. So like from 10 until noon, we'll do free mimosas. Cost me $175, and everybody in the park loves it. You know what I mean? They bring their lawn chairs and they go out there and do that. Yeah. So that's and that's kind of the other thing, is that it's my wife and I. And so it's full time all the time, you know. And if we don't sell the park, the next step will be a couple of employees, you know, to help lighten the load, because we want to be more in the hospitality business, and because it's the two of us, we're in the get everything done business, you know what I mean?
The daily grind.
Yeah, the daily grind, you know. So but I you know, putting on events and doing, it's just, there's no other parks around here that do that stuff. Right. And so people are really feeding into it big time, you know. And then to the COVID thing, we would have more cookouts and potlucks and stuff like that because we have the space to do it. But the COVID thing has been weird as well, you know what I mean? So we've kind of had to adapt with that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my last one pulling in. It's a pretty rig.
So they call you, let ahead of time and they're gonna be coming in, right?
Yes, so you know, well, basically they're on their reservation, so we know what to look for beforehand. My wife goes really a step forward, and after about noon, so noon is our check-in, 11 o'clock is our checkout, so about 12:30 my wife will start calling everybody that we have coming in, just saying, hey, we're just making sure that you guys got off safe, and what time should we expect you. So I don't park on this dark. I've tried to train these people, right? So in saying that, I don't park after dark. So when 8 o'clock comes, you know, we're done. Now, there could occasionally be somebody's going to be traveling, blow out. What are you going to do? They can be here at 9 o'clock, you know, but I don't let people just come in at any time, you know. It's just, we have too much going on already, you know. Let me show you this building here.
Yeah.
So this is what we call the pavilion. So back in the day, it was a tennis court. So that'll give you the size of it. And so there's no heater or air in here, but with the weather, there's so many windows, really, we just open it up, you know,
yeah.
do that. But it was in pretty rough shape. But all this equipment, I mean, it's older. I found out that people just really don't use it that much anyways, you know? I mean, and so I don't know if it is because it isn't the most inviting, but I haven't even had a lot of people ask about it, you know?
Yeah.
But it definitely could be something that, you know, could be added.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we just repainted everything, put this bar in. One of the big things, you know, when these groups, like this group of 25, so they rented this out for 3 nights, this group that's in here of these big rigs. And so they pay us on top of it, they pay us $200 a day basically to use this space, and the public can't come in. So they're doing that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it was extra $600. Now I didn't want to go full commercial kitchen. So what I did is we just put, so they can plug in, you know, they can put like 5 crock pots on here, you know, and they can do their thing, and you can kind of serve out of here. This was kind of wrecked, and we did it on a budget, but we did it right, you know, and I just have just the basics so they can warm food, you know, and I don't want them coming in here and frying and doing all that stuff, you know.
Right.
But they can come in here and use what they've got.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a really nice area. I mean, I can see this being used for birthday parties, weddings.
Absolutely. I
mean,
mean, there are a lot of people in the public that know that this is here and ask if they can rent it out. So that's a whole nother option. We just usually have our hands full. Like I said, a couple more employees, life would be a little bit different on how we do things.
For sure.
You know, but so far it's, you know, it's worked out. And then, and it's good if it rains, you know, I mean, then you've got a place that you can come in and get out of the rain, but it's solid, no leaks, nothing like that. I don't have any buildings that have any problems with them.
Yeah.
If there was problems, we address the problems.
Right.
And so, like I said, if COVID had not have happened the way that it did, I would have found more time to be able to use the space. That was just the whole mass gathering thing, you know? Just kind of screw everything up.
Yeah, you guys bought the property at the wrong time.
We bought it at a very interesting time. Is what we did, for sure. For sure.
Did we check that one out?
Yeah, we'll end up over there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is the main door.
Oh, cool.
And I'll say, you know what, with buying at the wrong time, I'll tell you too. I mean, our first year, we netted 202. Okay, wasn't bad.
NOI. Was it gross?
No, that was our net.
Net.
We netted 202.
Cool.
This year we'll net somewhere probably between 4, maybe up to 450. It's like right now, there's a few empty spaces out here, but the only reason there's empty spaces is because I got 4 coming in tomorrow, 8 coming in the next day. I mean, as far as right now, my wife is really just plugging in instead of taking reservations, turning a lot of people away right now. I mean, course, our Facebook and our Google, we've got, you know, our reviews are outstanding. People, and even we have one star review on Google, and if you read it, it was an old guy, and he left a great review. He just didn't push the 5-star button on there, you know, which will knock you down so much.
Yeah.
And so I called him, and I'm like, "Do you realize you did this?" And he's like, "I don't even know." He said, "I just left you something nice," and so I just left it at that. I said, "Okay, that's great," you know.
Yeah. So you think you're going to net about 475 this year?
Well, I think I have the potential to net. The way that we're going right now, it's going to be, I would say, 375 to 425. We're going to fall in somewhere right in there.
So let's just say, assume like 400K might be reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the net is 400K, then gross might be like 650?
No, we'll probably run, it'll probably run around 8, I would say. So what we figured out, it's about 360 a year to run the park. So yeah, I think we'll be somewhere around the 7 and 8. And I think that again, if it wasn't just me and my wife, I think the potential is in the 5 to 6 land. What needs to happen, and again, if I had time to do it, we're making all our money, the bulk of the money, May to September, right? What needs to happen is March and April and October need to do what that's doing. So I'll give you, for instance, this month, last year, we did 60